Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream, my Wednesday live stream. Today is Wednesday, the 10th of June, and it's just 1 minute past 6 p.m. UK time. For those who don't know me yet, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here twice a week to discuss and talk about anything to do with mental health and psychology. Disclaimer, I don't give any professional advice here because this is not a professional setting. But I do give suggestions and recommendations that may help some of you. So that's that. Um, I'm going to start my live stream like I always do by reading and commenting on some of my own posts. Hopefully at some point some of you will start to interact with me and yeah. Okay, the first post that I'm going to read about is about Michael Jackson. I posted it yesterday and it goes like this. Michael Jackson was not a monster. He was the modern day version of those who were called witches and hunted by the whole village just for being different and inconvenient. In fact, he was the ultimate symbol of what being different is. At a time when severe childhood trauma was normalized, it was easy for people to ignore his traumatic upbringing. And at a time when society knew absolutely nothing about neurodiversity, it was easy for those who controlled the media to smear him and turn his life into a freak show, when he was clearly displaying signs of neurodivergence. And so the way that I see it is that if you still believe that he was a monster, despite all the allegations against him having been proven false, dropped, and debunked, this indicates to me a deep-seated bias and a strong prejudice towards those who are different. But if, on the other hand, you recognize profound signs of neurodivergence in him, you see him as a victim of a modern-day witch hunt, it tells me a different story. It shows me that you understand what it means to be an underdog and how it feels to suffer from public ignorance and systemic injustice. So I think I've seen a lot of reactions on threads. A lot of people are saying to really support Michael Jackson and realize that he has been witch hunted by the press. Um, there was a lot of conspiracy as to why, and I believe that it could be true, but we're not going to go there. What I just want to talk about is how easy it is to scapegoat someone, and there are generally two sides to it. In the past, most people believed that he was a PDF file, that he was a monster, because the press kept on telling us that he was. But now everything has been debunked, so we can see it. And I think a lot of us, we are realizing about, we're understanding more about mental health. We're realizing that many of us are neurodivergent. And because we have suffered from being put down, belittled, bullied because of it, we can really understand what happened with Michael Jackson. And so because of that, a lot of people are really highlighting the fact that there are high chances. I would be extremely surprised if he was not neurodivergent. Um, the trauma he had to go through as a child, but also his whole behavior, his lifestyle, to me, it's absolutely obvious. And so there you go. So what I'm saying is that for the people who still believe that he was a monster, who watched that Netflix thing, which is, um, and they still believe that, it's not because the fact that they are presented with are better than others. It's just because they have a subconscious bias that wants him to be a monster. So because of that, what I'm saying is that it indicates to me that some people have a bias towards those who are different. Um, People who have a bias towards those who are different will constantly seek for a scapegoat. Um, and very often in society, this is how things work. In all the village, there has always been an idiot, someone to blame everything on. And now we're learning how to move away from that mentality. But yeah, there are still people who believe that that Michael Jackson was a victim, was an offender, when all along he was a victim. Next post, and this post is something that I just put out 5 minutes ago on TikTok. It will come out on YouTube with 2 days delay, I think. And it goes like this: men take their own life at a much higher rate than women. But what is rarely said is that women attempt it up to 3 times more often. That's the gender paradox. And the reason why this is because men tend to use methods that are much more aggressive and irreversible, whereas women use slower methods, leaving more time for rescue and luck. Now, a patriarchal narrative uses the idea that men suffer more from depression than women to claim that they have it harder than them, and it's not true. The real measure of suffering is the attempt, not the outcome. Of course, there's the fact that men underreport their mental health struggles because of the stigma that says that men must be strong, so they must never show their weakness. They must never talk about this. So in the end, the true attempt rate is likely to be equal. Very important, this is not a competition. This is precisely the point of the video that I've made about it. There is no exclusive victimhood in this society. Everyone, men, women, trans people, non-binary people, we all suffer. And everyone deserves to be seen, valued, loved, accepted, and supported in equal measure. So there you go. I understand that when we highlight that men suffer, it's not necessarily at the expense of the other people. My point is to really remind people that there is a narrative ongoing in the manosphere saying that men have it worse than everyone else. It's not true. They have it bad, but just like everyone else. I've got comment. Matthew Fenwick. I wonder what secret the dairy will hold. The dairy? Say he's secretly lactose intolerant. I don't understand Matthew Fenwick. I'm sure that there's something behind that message, but at this point in time, I haven't got a clue. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Okay. I'm going to be extra careful with the words that I choose because before I started the live, there was a whole thing basically letting you know that on live stream you have to be very, very cautious of the things that you say. First, last, ZW8IP. Hello, I am awake. Okay. I know who you are. You're someone who wanted to come to see me live, but there was always some problems because of the time zone delay, right? So fantastic. Is there anything you want to ask me since you're awake? Jan text, hi Didi, I hope that you're well. I'm very well indeed. How about you? I'm going to scroll back other posts that I put and continue. Something that I wanted to share with you. So, another post that I put on Sunday, and it goes like this: 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men have experienced intimate abuse in childhood. 1 in 4 men and 1 in 6 women have experienced physical abuse in childhood. Although those are estimates, if we put all of those numbers together, we can conclude that about 1 to 5%, regardless of their gender, have experienced intimate abuse, physical abuse, or both in childhood. So what I want you to do is for you to go outside in a public place and look at the crowd and remember those stats, 1 out of 5. And imagine who they could be. And it is absolutely impossible to tell. And this is why we must remind ourselves to be kind to others, because we never know what happened to anyone and how this may have affected the inner world, the way they interact with others, and how they come across to others. So I do that every now and then, but I think people don't realize how we all have developed the ability to plow through our life despite our baggage and our trauma. Everyone puts on a brave face, and really, because of my profession, because of my job, I know what has happened to a lot of people, but if you didn't speak to them, no one will know. And so when I go outside and look at everyone, 1 out of 5, for me, uh, yeah, it gives me a different experience of uh, of being with people, and also it helps me. It reminds me to never judge anyone. Um, First to last, I will listen for a bit. Okay, Jan text. I'm really good today. Thank you. I will just be listening in a while. We travel today. Okay. In that case, I'm going to just carry on reading and commenting on some of my posts, and hopefully at some point, some of you will ask me something. Um, Let me see. I did one about the Bible, and it goes like this. The Bible does not reveal God. It reveals you. If you use it to control people, to promote fear, discrimination, and hurt minorities, you are showing the world how hurt you are. But if you use it to support people, to promote compassion, to heal and expand communities, you are showing the world how healed you are. And of course, this applies to any religious text, the Quran, the Torah, any other ones, Bhagavad Gita, I don't know. Same book, different energy. So my question is, if you're a believer, what energy are you projecting? We go back to that idea of projection. Everything that we experience in our world is a projection of some parts that we have buried inside of us. So the more we suffer from shame and emotional repression, the more we will experience a negativity bias toward. We see evil, wickedness, bad stuff in everyone. There's one that I put out on Friday. I don't know if I talked about it here yet, but it's. I think I did. I need to read it again. It's quite a it's quite a big one for me because I was quite vulnerable when I did that post. It's quite personal and intimate, but I think it's an important topic to address, and it goes like this: it's about people who are being essayed in childhood. Do you know whether or not you have been abused intimately in childhood? The question seems ludicrous, but the reason I'm asking you this is because in my own life, it was much later, but I have realized that I have been essayed myself as a child. I always knew that those things happen. I always had memories of situations, but I never questioned them because I had so many problems growing up that this didn't seem like a problem in comparison. I've been groomed from very early on and for a very long time. And the reason I never considered it an abuse is because I enjoyed it. My existence was so bleak then that what those people did to me, what those adults did to me, was translated as attention. I felt special, I felt seen, I felt that I mattered for once in my life, I felt cared for. And I never realized how wrong it was and how underaged I was. Um, I don't remember how young I was, but I was very young. But I realized that it has affected the way I function, my psyche, um, and it has created a lot of dysfunctions in me. Now I've worked on myself in many different ways, so that has been addressed. Uh, However, my message here is that it took me an awful amount of time to realize that I had an issue in the first place. And that's why it's important to re-question our past, to look behind, and to remind ourselves that whatever we've been through, for the vast majority of us, because that's all that we know, is going to be considered normal. And when something is normal, we don't question it, and we keep um, suffering or being limited by some dysfunctions that we have labeled as normal. So there you go. A lot of people don't talk about this because it's a huge taboo subject. But even when we are being assaired, many of us may enjoy it. Um, and because of that, it can be very confusing. There can be a lot of shame involved. Anyway, don't have any comment just yet. I'm going to carry on. If I don't get any comment for too long, I just resume my day. Really, I'm here to talk to people. And so, yeah, when I read my post, it's just me buying time for people to get warmed up and get the courage to ask me things. Um, I don't really have any topic or something to say. I can try to talk about the things that are coming to my mind. I can do that. Let's do that. I had a huge revelation. Basically, I've been dabbling with AI, and just like everyone, all I've done with that at spent time was to Google things and ask it some extra questions. But I didn't realize how powerful it was. And so basically, now I'm realizing that I have a virtual assistant that can really help me with the writing of my book. And this is so exciting. I haven't slept in the last 3 days, and there's so much going on, and I can really now. It feels like I have a whole team of people who are working with me, and I love this. I absolutely adore this. And so AI is just a tool, but if you know how to use it, if you have something that you want to create, it can really, really make your life so much better. I think a lot of people, especially people maybe from my generation, people who are older, may be cynical about it and think that it's a bad thing. I saw an interview from Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran, a band from the 80s. Um, and he was saying that he was really considering making music with AI now. And a lot of comments in that post where people are saying, I can't believe that he's doing this. I lost all respect for him. I would never listen to their music again. And why not? I think people get the wrong idea. AI is literally just a tool. And if you know how to use it, you can really make a lot of quick progress and also better things just on your own. And so that was my thought of the day. I've been obsessed with that since especially since Sunday night. Um, but uh, but I always wanted to do this anyway. I wanted to find out what all the fuss was about. I love technology. I believe that technology will always happen and always expand in exponential. So we must learn how to embrace technology whenever there's something new. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind. And so, yeah. Um, First and last, my brain is still firing up for the day. I know sometimes I can yap way too much though. Okay, do you want to yap with me here? First, last. As for AI, it is very tempting, but it contributes to water pollution. We're trying to push through a data center in my town, and we're fighting against it. I get it, I get it. But the thing is that you can't prevent technology to expand. It will always happen. This is what we do. We expand. At some point, we may expand to the point of ruining the planet. So we need to come up with some ideas, but we may not make it as well. But we just can't help something like that. It's part of our evolution. This is what people do. And so whether we want it or not, we can either fight and resist it, or we can use it to enhance it. So maybe we can use AI to find a solution to the problem of pollution. How about that? Um, so yes, it's a different mindset. I understand where you're coming from, but to me, I personally wouldn't use my energy to stop something that I believe is inevitable. Instead, I would rather understand what it is so that I can use my understanding of it to ameliorate it, to better it. Um, First, last, I hope I don't come off as judgmental. And I know you are not in the US, but I felt I wanted to mention this. It's fine. I understand. I totally understand. I'm not. I don't judge people. I understand that we all have a different perspective and a different context and environment. So I totally get it. I appreciate your input. Absolutely. I know it's important. I know that it consumes a lot of heat and energy, but I also know that the human race has always done sort of things. And I believe also in the human genius. I believe that someone will find a solution to this, uh, probably using AI. Pumpkin Puff. Hi Didi, how are you feeling today? I'm good. I'm very good. Thank you very much. How about you? I've been very busy. I've been very active. My mind hasn't stopped. I've done a lot of work as well. And I've been to the gym. And so I'm feeling very pumped. um, I'm on my mission to readjust my sleeping patterns. And it's happening. It's happening. First, last, I love technology, don't get me wrong, but it seems pretty alarming that water could get to be $10 a gallon. So they're always going to be like that. The problem is not the AI. The problem is the government that are finding any way to make it harder for people who are at the bottom of society, as opposed to at the top. If you are very rich, you don't care about the price of the water, you don't care about the price of the gas, you don't care about the tariff, you don't care about anything at all because you are loaded. But for everyone else, it's a problem. And so the problem is not the AI. The problem is that people at the top are not uh, being fair to anyone. Um, it's like when people believe that all the problems, let's say in the UK where I live, some people believe that all the problems in their life are because of the immigrant. They're coming over here, stealing all our jobs. And it's not true, it's rubbish. People who come here or anywhere, they contribute to society. They have diplomas, they pay their taxes, they are good neighbors, good people. And so, uh, but people at the top are going to make you believe that it's because of them, so that they can keep the status quo and keep doing what they are doing, which is hoarding all the goods at the expense of everyone else. Um, but again, I understand where you're coming from. It's just that I do believe that we look in the wrong place all the time. Pumpkin puff. So you consider being busy and your mind not stopping a motivator for you to keep being busy? It's not about being busy or not. It's about the relationship that you have with your mind. So because I have a good relationship with my mind, I love being busy. Because I choose the sort of busyness that is happening in my mind. That's it. If I was going to suffer from intrusive thoughts, I would hate this. If I was burnout because I have to do all those things for other people or things that I don't want to do, I wouldn't like it. But I'm living a life that I've created for myself. And so basically everything that I do is there to support my well-being as a priority. And so because of that, um, I'm busy in a positive way. Sometimes I can be burning out. I can be over busy. It has happened not long ago. So it does happen to me as well. But then it's for me to remind myself, what am I doing? Why is this happening? And that's because I lost myself for a moment. I get caught into the momentum like we all do. And then I realized it's time for me to chill. That's enough. And then to reframe the whole thing, to upgrade the system so that I don't carry on doing this. Um, And so at the moment, I'm in a very happy, empowered, inspired phase. First, last, I agree, but we are currently being ruled by a madman. Yes, absolutely. So what was I was saying? The problem is not the AI. The problem is the madman, and all of them at the top, the whole gang, whoever, and every country. And so this is the real problem. And when people say we should cut the benefit to some disabled people in the UK, and it's only that, and we're spending that much to go and destroy people in other countries. So again, you know, people are looking in the wrong place. Pumpkin puff. I'm okay today, not feeling the best. Okay, okay is good enough, right? Each moment is followed by another moment. So maybe you're okay now. Maybe the next moment you'll be feeling a bit better. Maybe the next day a bit worse, and then good again. And then we fluctuate like that. This is how it goes. Sometimes we are unhappy because we expect to be in a certain state. We forget that we literally fluctuate state millions of times throughout the day, all of our life. And so we must accept that if those things happening, and instead of resting it, instead of being resentful about how I feel, oh, I don't like it, why can't I be happier? Instead, we just maybe can accept, I feel like crap today, but it's okay because there's another moment, and maybe I can find a way to feel a bit better the next moment. And if not, I'll try again for the next, because what else can we do that is more important than to find a way to feel better about ourselves? Would you agree with this? First, last, ZW. Speaking of immigrants, they're being persecuted just for being British. Absolutely, absolutely. Brown people, anyone who is who doesn't look like the people in charge, they've always been suffering from racism, from injustice, and all of those things. Absolutely, absolutely. And not just brown, obviously black people, but also Asian people. Uh, uh, Matt 41174. I'm not going to read what it is because it's extremely racist. But I'm going to um, hide user on this channel. So now the message is gone, and whatever that you're going to write is not going to be seen by us. However, you can still see the live stream. So that's the thing. I have no problem with you expressing yourself and even trying to attack me. But I will not allow you to attack me because I don't want this to affect the tone of the live stream. And so now you can still watch if you want to learn something, but you won't be able to say anything. You have been taking the mic off because you're not in the right state for that to contribute positively to that live stream. But if you can learn something from this, I'll be happy for you to stay. Whoever it is, the name is gone. It's all gone. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, okay, I understand. It's a happy, inspired type of busy. Sometimes the stimulus is nice. Yes, absolutely. Uh, Busy is just doing a lot of things. So it's not about being busy or not. It's about what are you being busy at. When people don't do anything, they're busy at thinking about it. They're busy feeling guilty and ashamed of themselves. They're still busy doing something, not the thing that they would rather do. They're busy feeling terrible about themselves because they're thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I put myself together and get that thing done? They're still busy thinking about it and feeling bad about it. And so we're always busy anyway. It's about what busy are you going to choose to entertain in your mind, in your body, in your life. Um, yeah. Pumpkin Puff. One of our pups is not feeling well. We're trying to help her and figure out what is wrong, but I've been overwhelmed with everything else. So being stressed about her is adding to my overwhelm. Choose your priority. If I had a pup, my whole priority would be to look after the pup, and that would fill up enough space in my mind so that I don't need to think about anything else. Um, it's about priority. Sometimes we are looking at the state of our life, and there's so much chaos. We feel overwhelmed because we are trying to fix everything, and it's not possible. What you can do is to address one thing at a time. Find out what is your priority, what's the most important thing for you to address in this moment, and forget about everything else. And do your best to make this happen, that thing, one baby step at a time. Eventually, when it gets better, then you can choose a different problem to address. And eventually, you do a lot of things without stressing out about it because you're just focused on doing, solving a problem, um, fixing something. The School of Flourishing. I like that name. Hello, I would like to go into psychology or counseling. I have a MA in education, leadership, and management. In the UK, I am in the UK to get BCP registered. Does it matter that I am currently being investigated by police for something unrelated? I don't know about the laws about it. I don't know at all. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I don't know. I'm not a counselor. I'm a specific type of therapist. I'm a hypnotherapist and an RTT therapist. So I work, work within that frame. And so I can tell you a lot about my job description, but I wouldn't know about the laws in the UK in regards to anything else. Let me try to think, because I do know a lot of people who are also professors, psychologists, doctors, whatever. And I know a lot of people in the mental health industry. Um, I don't necessarily believe that this could be a problem for you. Um, yeah. I could be wrong. School of Flourishing message retracted. Oh well. And there's a lot of message that I've hidden from Matt 41174. The one that was a little bit naughty. First, last, I used beige to try and be inclusive, but I also meant black and Asian people and anyone not white and male. Really, women's rights are also being eroded. Yes, absolutely. Women's rights, trans people rights, um, anything that is not male, white, right wing, Christian, I think that's pretty much it, would be experiencing some sort of injustice and struggle in the society that we're in because those people are the ones who have shaped that society. I agree with you. And also, uh, anyone who is neurotypical, no, who is neurodivergent or disabled, but also anyone who is different. People who are fat, overweight, people who are red hair, people who have big nose, small ears, whatever. Anyone who is different is going to be scapegoated by society because society thrive on bullying some people. Um, so they always look at the easy target. So anyone who's different, if you are poor, if you sound, you look different. Um, I think people don't realize that a lot of us who are bullied, a part of those who get bullied because of racism or homophobia, anything that is quite obvious, for everyone else, I think the vast majority of the reason why those people get bullied is because they are neurodivergent. People don't talk about this, but I really believe that it's the one thing that is not maybe that obvious, but that people can feel about some individual. That's why they pick them up to bully. Um, Dawn Woodland. Hi Didi. Hello Dawn. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, we are watching her closely and babying her. I just hope she's okay because I don't think I can handle something happening to her. So focus your energy on now, on what is, instead of focusing on what will happen tomorrow, tonight, in an hour. Because if you go into that direction, you will suffer. There's nothing that you can do when you're starting to worry about an imaginary future. You're making it worse for yourself. And so I know that it's not easy, but you need to remind yourself, okay, what choice do I have? Am I going to worry about something that I have no control over? Whatever we think about the future is pure imagination. And there's a very famous quote that is used a lot is that worrying is a very poor use of your imagination. And so you don't need to worry. You can do your best to do something for your pup right around now. You can be with it. You can do some research to find out what you need to do next. And as long as you are doing that, you are not worrying because you are busy in the present moment. Your power lies in the present, not in the future or the past. This is why mindfulness is so powerful. Mindfulness is the idea that there's only now, and that if you can bring yourself in the moment, right around now, not in the past, not in the future, then in that moment, you have power. You can do something, you can change something. When you think about the future, you can do nothing. Why? Because the future is not is an illusion. There's no future. There's only an imagination of what may happen. And the truth of the matter is that most of the time, whatever we worry about, they don't happen anyway. Um, and it's the same thing with people who are trapped in the past. And the past doesn't necessarily mean just childhood. It can be whatever happened last week, yesterday, an hour ago, 5 minutes ago. It's still the past. And we're still thinking about it. But as long as we are trying to fix something in a place that doesn't exist, the past and the future, we have no power. We're going to suffer whatever emotion is associated to that thought. And so if we are worried about the future, we're going to suffer from anxiety. If we are angry, resentful about the past, we're going to be frustrated. We're going to be angry at ourselves. Or we may have nostalgia and have some regret. Um, but it's all very disempowered. Um, and so, yes, when you say, I just hope she's okay, you don't need to hope. The universe knows what you want. So just do whatever you can and be there for your pup. Your pup feeds from your energy. So if you feel all over the place, your pup will feel that. But if you feel it's okay, I'm here, I'm fully focused on you. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to stay with you. Now the pup is going to feel better. It's going to feel safe, protected, looked after. Right? With humans, but also animals, of course, the pack, the leader of the pack determines the energy of everyone. And so if you're all over the place, they can think, oh, the leader is all over the place. I can't trust anyone. I'm not feeling so great about it. But if the leader is focused, then they feel, oh, it's okay. I can relinquish and let go and surrender because the one in charge is doing a good job. So that could be a motivation to choose to focus on the present instead of worrying about a negativity biased future. Does it make sense? Pumpkin Puff. Dawn Woodland, I have had a lot of struggles and I'm trying so hard. If you want to talk about anything at all, I'm here. Okay? Pumpkin Puff. My dogs are like my children, so I'm just stressed and sad when I think about what if she's not okay. So we talked about it. I know it. I've got dogs as well, and my husband, he's autistic, and when we had dogs, same thing for him. Dogs are everything, like me, but for him, it's even more because he has, because of his autism. As in, he has more space for animals than for humans. And you know what? Fair enough. But because of that, when we had our first dog, it was very, very consuming emotionally for him. But then he learned. And then when we came to second and third dog, it was much more zen. And he was able to do everything that we're meant to do without freaking out. I think there's also a huge acceptance about mortality that must be addressed. So as long as we do our best to give them a good life, as long as we do our best for them to be physically comfortable and emotionally comfortable, then that's it. We must accept that's it. That's life. We've done our best. If there's something else we can do, it's the same with us. It's the same with everyone. Voya 401. What are your thoughts on AI? I talked about it at the start of the live stream. I love it. It's a tool, and I believe that just like anything else, it's just a tool. So you can do amazing stuff with that, but also you can do some terrible things. The example that I often give is that a hammer is a tool. With a hammer, you can build houses, you can build boats, you can also smash someone's face. So it's not the tool, it's the person that is using it. But as far as tools are concerned, I think AI is brilliant. I love it. I started to be obsessed with that since Sunday night, and I'm absolutely going to spend my life exploring more about it. First last, ODHD here, and now being treated differently because I am old and alone. There's no honoring of the elderly here, to put it mildly. Yes, but at the same time, there shouldn't be. Here's the thing: we believe that because some people are older, they deserve certain things. In reality, we are what we are, and there's some good people who are old, there's some bad people who are old, there's some good people who are young, and some bad people who are young. It doesn't matter what age it is. But now, I think I understand what you mean is that a good society should look after the elderly. So if that's what you're thinking, but I agree with you, I totally agree. But we shouldn't expect people to treat older people better just because they're old. I think we should treat people equally as well. Right? It's not that some people deserve more than others. We all deserve it. So the problem is when we don't share goodness, give goodness when we can for X, Y, Z reasons. But I believe that we all deserve the good stuff in life. And again, it's because of the society that we live in, the system that is corrupted, that we suffer. It's not because of anything else. But I agree with you in the sense that I do believe that the measure of the quality of a society is how we treat the people who need the most help. So elderly people, disabled people, people who live alone, people who need some help. So I would agree with that. Timothy. Timothy, I'm going to block you as well. Timothy had user on this channel. So Timothy, all of your messages are retracted. They're invisible. We can't see them anymore. However, you can still see the live stream. So I hope that you can learn something from it. Again, another racist comment. But it happens. Again, I don't take it personally anymore. I used to. But we need to understand that people have different states, and sometimes some people may want to hurt others just because it's the only way they know how to let go of their own frustration. And I know that because I was the same. I used to be a horrible human being for many, many, many decades in my life. But that's because I didn't know how to function in any other way. When we say that only hurt people, this is what it means. Um, we don't want to allow them to hurt us, of course. We want to set boundaries, we want to protect ourselves, just like I've done, just like that, bang, gone, no problem. But I don't need to be angry at them anymore because I understand that if they do that, it's because they are hurt, they are bored, they are bitter, they are maybe they have a terrible shit life, maybe they're whatever, maybe they are looking after someone that is very demanding, someone that is narcissist. It can be anything at all. Maybe they have some illnesses, they suffer all the time, and they're trying to let go of that energy online. It's easy. They will never talk to anyone like that in real life, but online it's possible. And so I understand why would they do that. If I was in their shoes, I'd probably do that as well. Again, um, like empathy and compassion can be applied even to those who are trying to hurt us, but only if we know how to deal with them. If you know how to deal with them, they can never hurt me anymore. So because of that, I'm able to have compassion for them. The reason why I know that I can never be hurt by them is because I can see them and I know what to do. I've learned how to set boundaries. It's easy. It really is easy. What is hard is to realize that it's easy. Is to just get started on it. Once we start setting boundaries, recognizing people, and not giving them any oxygen for them to say nasty thing to us or to do anything bad, then that's it. The problem is dealt with very easily. But people who are angry at narcissists, people who are angry at trolls, people who are angry at all these people, they are angry because they still feel fear. As in, there's a lot of bad people, I don't know how to handle them, and it's because of that not knowing how to cope with them that people have replaced the fear with aggression, anger, or trolls, bad people. But I don't believe that they are all bad people. I mean, I don't believe that there are bad people anyway. I believe that there are people and we do our best. And we do whatever we can based on what we have at this point in time in our life. Anyway, first last, please stopping using that word, Tim. He's gone. As soon as I see this word, now they're gone. I can't. In the past, I would give them a chance and try to talk to them, but I'm reminded that when people do that, they're coming with an agenda. They don't care about conversation. They don't see me as a person. They're just trying to throw some random insults to strangers online to let go of their frustration and anger and boredom. And so, yeah. Robert Kritzbander. What do you think of neurodivergence being considered a superpower? Or do you believe it's a hindrance to systems, society, or both? And so basically everything is contextual. It can be a superpower in the right place when it's within the right context. And so, for instance, I have ADHD, and my ADHD is a superpower now for me. In the past, it was a curse, and this is the case for all neurodivergent people. Unless you've been diagnosed, unless you realize that this is how our brain works, it's going to be a curse. It's going to be terrible. It's going to affect our life. We're going to be plagued with guilt and shame and self-hatred because we're going to believe that everything that we can do or that we overdo is because of us. And it's not like that. It's just that our brain is different. And so whether it's a hindrance or not, it depends on the context. If you're at the right place at the right time with the right people, they can put you in the best position for your type of brain. And so a lot of modern companies now have a bunch of neurodivergent people. You can see them. You see, I used to share office space called WeWork. So I used to be in a building with a lot of different companies. And there's some companies, when we go on break, you can see a whole bunch of them. They're all neurodivergent, autistic, Asperger's. And they are the ones who are doing something very specific. They're doing something that only people who have the conditions can do it optimally because they have the right type of brain. It's super square and they can see things and it's easy for them to do things. And so basically, if you put the right people at the right place, then that's how it becomes a superpower. There's a say, if you put I don't know, a fish out of water or a bird in the water, something like that, then it's useless because we are in the wrong environment. And so it's the same. Whether it's a superpower or not, it depends on what you know about yourself and who you are surrounded with at home and at work. Um, it's not a hindrance to the system because the system is still evolving. Now, it has been a hindrance to the system because the system used to be ignorant and cruel. And so it was basically a system that was saying, if you can't do this, you're bad. You must be locked away. You can't exist in this society. And that was a very cruel, a terrible society. And it's still a little bit like that, but it's getting better. Um, the system is neurotypical. And neurotypical means people who can function within the system. So neurotypical is not it's not a measure of the quality of a person as an individual. It is the measure of whether someone can function in a capitalist society. That's all there is. Um, and so, because of that, religions have created systems to get people to do things that they didn't want to do. They created laziness, guilt, shame. Don't be so lazy. You need to use some willpower. And it's all huge BS. It's a lie. It was invented by capitalism to get people to do things that they hate to do, to get to burn out for them, to sacrifice their health, their life, their happiness, to gaslight them, to emotionally blackmail them. You are so lazy. No, we're not lazy. We just don't want to do this. But if you put the right person at the right place, now you're going to have so much more because we all have a talent, we all have a skill, we all have a superpower if we're put in the right place. Yeah. I hope that answers your question, Robert. But the main answer to any question is that it depends. Everything is contextual. So we want to define the context in order to answer any question. The problem is that people don't think like that. They believe that there's only one context, my perspective, my point of view, my belief system, instead of realizing that, again, everything is contextual. So just that in itself would solve everything. If we can be reminded that there's no right, there's no wrong, there's only context, then we can reorganize things optimally for everyone. First, last, you will not be allowed to chat. You're talking to the guy who was being racist. No, you're right. Not allowed. Pumpkin Puff, that's true. Do you think my overwhelmed nature recently could have caused an issue for that? An issue for that? Yes, of course. Again, if you are suffering from borderline personality disorder, that will affect every single aspect of your life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Borderline personality disorder used to be called, and it's still used to be called in some places, emotional instability disorder. So emotional instability. So that will affect everything. Uh, so it's normal. Again, as long as you are carrying the burden of BPD, you will um, remind yourself that you will go through states. But then, even if you're like that, you can, over time, learn how to practice mindfulness, learn how to decide, okay, do I want to allow myself to it's not, to be honest with you, it depends. This is why everything is possible, but for some of us, it may take a longer time. Maybe that's what I should be saying. And again, as I always say, there are some shortcuts. There are some methods that allows people to heal much quicker and faster and better. But all the routes lead to Rome. So yeah, keep going. Whatever that you do, and you be better and better one day at a time. Carry kindness. I am currently in the middle of living a toxic relationship. My husband has threatened me. I have videos on my channel, and he's been verbally abusing me for almost 2 weeks now. I'm exhausted. I hope that you are safe. If you've been threatened, make sure that you take any measures that you can take to stay safe. Get the police involved, get your neighbors involved, get your family, friends, people who are on your side to protect you. Student 2K. Oh, hello, student 2K. How do I fix my bad active listening? When someone is explaining things or telling me about their day, I will randomly forget to listen and miss important information, and then I give them confused response. Very often when this happens, is not that there's a default in our attention. It's that our brain is designed, well, how can I say this? If we have unhealed trauma, if we have ADHD or autism, if we have any of those conditions or others, our brain is going to be all over the place. And so the problem is not that you're unable to listen to some people. This is the symptom of a deeper root cause. You want to address the problem from wide steps, right? Instead of addressing the symptom of a problem. If you find it difficult to focus, that could be because you're overwhelmed, maybe you're anxious, maybe you're depressed. If there could be so many reasons as to why it happens. But it's not because you're not paying attention on purpose. Just based on what you said, I believe that it's a pattern. It's something that is causing a problem in your life. And so it's not like a one-off situation where maybe you're tired, maybe you're hungover or anything like that, but would limit your mental faculties for a day. And so so you want to understand yourself first. Do you believe that you may be on the spectrum of something? Because if that's the case, then the solution doesn't lie in your behavior. The solution lies in your lifestyle. There are things that you can do, things that you cannot do, and things that you cannot do yet. And you have to work with that. But also you need to realize that I forgot what I was going to say. Again, I have ADHD, so I forget things sometimes. Yes, you need to minimize your exposure to stress. Because the more we are overwhelmed with stress, with tension, with pressure, the more we're going to find it difficult to focus on anything. And if you have any condition, the more that condition will be inflamed. And so, yes, student 2K, if you can tell me whether or not you believe that you may have some conditions of some sort. Carry kindness. I have autism and ADHD as well, and I'm trying to recover enough to be able to think straight so I can continue planning my escape. But my partner is absolutely unrelenting. So you can only do your best. Do your best, one day at a time, one moment at a time. What can you do? Do your best and seek some help. If you find yourself being overwhelmed, get some help. There's got to be some people that you can ask help for. Right? Seek some help and stay safe. Dawn Woodland at Kerry, I feel for you. Been in toxic, abusive relationship, but I'm physically, mentally, and financially trapped. I've tried so many times. Yes, when we are financially trapped, it's a problem. But again, when that's the case, we want to address our priority. Regardless of how bad a situation is, there's always one step that is more important than other steps. If you try to fix everything, we're never going to fix a single thing. We're not even going to get even started because it's just too much. But if you can focus on one priority and just focus on that and do our best one baby step at a time to make this happen, then eventually something will happen. And when that's done, we can do the next thing and so on and so forth. And then we create some momentum and things start to accelerate. But it's really about making it easier, as easy as possible. And we do this by focusing on the priority and the baby steps, baby, tiny, whatever it is. Instead of feeling overwhelmed and living in fear, because when we're in those states, again, we can't control those things. But when they happen to us, we have no power because we're overwhelmed, we're in a state of survival. So we can't think straight. It's impossible to think straight when we're in a state of survival because we're in survival. When we're on survival, we literally disconnect from the rational mind. We're being emotional, we're being reactive, and that doesn't help us. Now, of course, for some of us, it's impossible not to be like that. And so we want to do our best. Then the priority will be to do our best to minimize our overwhelm. Even if it's tiny little things, if we can make things better, at least we can make things a little bit less worse for now. And it's still something. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I think I have an issue with losing the people, pets I love. I know all living things die, but I have abandonment issues. I pour my whole heart into them and then suffer greatly when they're gone. So, yeah, you want to work on your spiritual belief. That would be my advice to you. Um, accept that we're all here to experience something, but no one dies. People don't disappear anywhere. They only disappear from our sight, from that dimension. But I believe that there's no life, there's no death, there's just different dimension, and we jump from one to another. I really genuinely believe in that. And ever since I believe in that, life is easy. I'm ready to die. I don't want to. But if it's going to happen tomorrow, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I used to suffer from that type of anxiety for such a long time. I was obsessed with the afterlife. Um, but now I'm genuinely super zen because it's the one thing that makes the most sense to me. It's not just that I've chosen a belief that is easy, it's a belief that is the most logical out of all the beliefs that I've explored up to this point. So I might as well make it my belief. Um, you want to practice non-attachment, pumpkin puff. I've read a post. I've written a post about it today. Let me find out. Or yesterday it was. Uh, just bear with me. I think it's very relevant. Um, but I write so many. I need to find it. Where is it? Ah, here it is. So I need to redo it. But here are the draft of one of my scripts. You never lose anything because nothing was ever yours to begin with. You came into this world with nothing and you will leave with nothing. Everything and everyone that you encounter is simply borrowed. It's meant to be appreciated but never owned. And this is the true essence of non attachment. Non attachment doesn't mean that you don't love someone or something. It means that you stop attaching yourself to the illusion that people and things must remain with you forever. The exact moment you believe that you own someone, you activate a survival response in your nervous system. You begin living in a constant state of edge, dreading a future where you lose them, or grieving a past where they are already gone. And this is what is happening with you, right? And so, non attachment is the ability to fully appreciate something right here and now without the desperate need to control it, with the full acceptance that nothing lasts forever. But I have this moment, so I'm going to enjoy this. And actually, when you practice non attachment, this is when you love people and things better because you don't take them for granted. I'm with my husband, we've been together for 21 years, but I'm thinking if he leaves me tomorrow, it's okay because we have the memories we have now. If he dies, if he leaves me or whatever, I will have to accept it. It will suck. I wouldn't be happy about it for a while, but at some point I will accept it because I have practiced non-attachment for a long time now, so it will be easier for me to accept, to let go, to think, okay, you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. Let's move on. That's life. I wish him the best, um, wherever he is, whatever he does. If that was the case, I don't think it's going to happen. But there you go. But non-attachment is really about learning how to love better. If you love someone and you know that that person may not stay, they have a cancer, or maybe they may change their mind, or maybe they're very volatile emotionally, then you're making the most of this moment with them. Whereas if you believe that someone is going to be with you forever, you take them for granted. And you don't realize that each moment you can connect deeper each moment. So non attachment is actually loving more, loving better, loving deeper, as opposed to trying to control and own someone. Um, there's a very simple analogy that I used in one of my posts a little while ago. It goes like this: if you if you like a flower, you keep them in a vase. If you love the flower, you leave it where it is, and you appreciate them when you see them in nature. If you like a fish, you keep it in a fish tank. If you like a bird, you keep it in a bird cage. But if you love them, you let them roam in their natural habitat, and you appreciate them when you go and see them. That's the difference. Love is about giving people freedom and loving them for them being happy, as opposed to trying to own them, control them. And again, it's not something that we do cognitively, consciously, but this is what we suffer from, the idea that people and things must stay with me forever, otherwise I can't be happy without them. Instead of appreciating the moments that we have now, we can create a memory, we can do something right around now. And this is what love should be about. And then when you can practice non-attachment, as in appreciating things and people right around now without the need to control it, without fearing losing them, this is what frees you from resistance. And I was talking about the nervous system in that post, and the conclusion of that post was, because when you stop trying to own the world, your body finally feels safe enough to enjoy it. So maybe it's something that is actually relevant to what you're going through at the moment. Is it? Don't me to Pumpkin, I get you, I relate to people here. And did he give a void aura? A given a void aura? What do you mean, Dawn? First last. I guess for me specifically, I'm fine. I'm left alone. I don't need special treatment because of my age, but what is happening is that I am perceived as weak and unable to protect myself. Are you in danger? Are people trying to attack you? Because if you are perceived in a certain way, it's their problem. It doesn't matter how you are perceived. What matters is how you perceive yourself. So if you feel that you are right, then that's what matters. But if you don't feel that you are right, then seek help. Right? There's a society out there. There are some good people. What you need to do is to find them, is to look in the right places. There are people who are not kind, but there are also people who are kind and generous. And it's for you to find out where they are. If you believe that everyone is bad, then you will never even get started. So you need to give yourself a bit of hope that there are some good people out there who can help you. Carry kindness. Pumpkin, I feel you. I have terrible anticipatory grief over losing my dogs. They've saved my life several times. So I hope that what I said was useful to some of you. Not just Pumpkin Puff, but also Carrie and anyone else who commented on that thread. Dawn, good, we can relate to each other on this chat. Of course, it's a community. Sometimes I see people talking to one another, not asking me anything, and I'm okay with that. This is what you do. I'm here and address people who address me. But if you want to connect with other people, please, by any means. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm getting rid of those who are bringing some bad vibes, because it's spoiling it for everyone. I want to create a safe space, void of negativity. Carry kindness. I'm not angry at trolls. I understand why people are angry. They're covering the fear. I love everyone and treat everyone with kindness. If they choose to be hateful, then I walk away. That's how we do this. Well done, Carrie. Absolutely. Thank you. Not many people can do that because we all have baggage. But if you can do it, fantastic. Good on you. Student 2K. I feel like my brain's slow compared to others, like keeping up with conversations, and when learning new theoretical things, how do I speed it up? You may not be able to speed it up. We're all different. If you compare, I think that your brain is good at certain things, and you want to find out what things it is good at. And so my brain can be very good for the things that I do. But if you ask me to, I don't know, do something to do with mathematics, with laws, with other stuff like that, but I have no idea, I'm going to be super slow because it's not my thing. There are things that comes more naturally to us. And And so some people have the ability to be very flexible and learn very quickly. But if it's difficult for you, you want to find out what you are good at naturally. But then again, you may be overwhelmed. Maybe you are working too much. Maybe you're not resting enough. You have too much pressure to succeed, to make your parents proud of you, or for sort of things. And so you want to let go of the pressure. I think we had a chat about it, haven't we, in the past? You want to let go of the pressure and just do your best, but also prioritize your own happiness. We're trying so hard to please others that we end up being overwhelmed. And when we think that there's something wrong about us, there was nothing ever wrong about us. The only one thing that is wrong about us is that we're trying to do things that we're not meant to do, or we're doing too much of it. We're doing too much for everyone to prove them our worth, instead of just giving ourselves some self-care, some happiness, enjoying our life, which we should all do. Um, Student 2K learning. Yes, I figured it out. So if you want to speed up your brain, very simple. Sleep a lot, good quality sleep. Do things that make you happy. Do things that are creative. Um, Eat well. No processed food, no sugar, just whole stuff. Don't smoke, don't drink. Um, Move, go to the gym, walk, run, cycle. All of those things will help you have a better brain health. So there's a lot of things you can do about brain health. Sleeping is the number one thing. Sleeping, moving, um, so exercising. I think the best exercise for your brain is squat. But you need to do it properly. You need to learn how to do this. It's a very complicated movement. And what did I say? Sleeping, moving, eating the right stuff, uh, as opposed to junk, inflammation, sugar. Um, that's the big phrase. But then number four, do things that make you happy. Meditate, dance, sing, draw, whatever. Go out, meet people, socialize. You need to give yourself some happy time, because otherwise your brain is going to be overwhelmed. Um, your brain needs to have some moment where it's going to be focused on gathering new information, and it also needs other moments where it's going to process the information. So when you sleep, you're processing. When you're doing things that make you happy, when you think about things that have nothing to do with your studies or your work, that's when your brain is having a break. I have burnt out recently myself because I was obsessed with my work, and I was reminded that my brain needs a break from those type of thoughts. And so I spent a whole day, I was talking about it, I don't know, a few weeks ago, playing guitar, singing, and I haven't sung in, I don't know, 20 years. And it sounded terrible, but I really enjoyed it. Instead of thinking about anything, I just did something totally different the whole day. And it was like having a new brain after I slept the following day. So maybe try this. Do something that has got nothing to do with what you do, and invest that time thinking, I'm going to do this on purpose. It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I'm not working hard enough. It's because I want to work better. So I have to do this in order to get better, and see how it goes. First, last. Carrie, my first marriage was abusive. I hope you can get away. My second marriage was blissful. I hope this gives you hope. Thank you, first, last. Things do change. Student 2K. Some neurodivergent thrive in school. How? Yes, because neurodivergent, we have different brain. So there are a lot of very famous neurodivergent who are very successful. Elon Musk is one of them, and he's one of the top, 3 richest people in the world. Uh, Let me find out. Famous and successful neurodivergent people. Okay. So, in the tech and business entrepreneur, we have Bill Gates. Bill Gates, dyslexia and ADHD. We have Richard Branson from Virgin. billionaire, dyslexia. We have Steve Jobs from Apple, dyslexia as well. Entertainment and arts. We have Anthony Hopkins, Jennifer Aniston, Tim Burton. Sport, we have Michael Phelps. Science, we have Albert Einstein. This is only neurodivergent. I want to find out. Just bear with me, please. People with ADHD. Jim Carrey, Dave Grohl, Paris Hilton. Yeah, it's not a great list. Leonardo da Vinci had ADHD, apparently. But I know that Elon Musk famously is on the autism spectrum. I mean, there's plenty of examples. Whether you like him or not is not the point. The point is that when we say that neurodivergence is a superpower, that's what it means. If you have a good upbringing, as in without shame, without being told there's something wrong with you, but with intelligent and educated parents who understand that you have a condition, and if you are being put in the right place, then we have the ability to really thrive as neurodivergent. Carrie Cannes. First, last, it does. Thank you. Okay, fantastic. I'm really happy you escaped your toxic partner and found a good one. That's wonderful. And I'm still hopeful and optimistic and happy despite my circumstances. Thank you for staying optimistic. AZ1904, amazing channel. Thank you so much. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Carrie Cannes. I'm trying to save up money to get my own place. Although my partner has dementia and cancer, and he needs a caretaker. So I'm trying to get him into a home he won't go willingly. Your partner is your abuser, or is it someone else? Because if you're trying to get away from someone who's, I'm mixing up, I'm mixing up the cases, the people. So I'm not sure about your situation. I'm not clear about you, Carrie. If you say you're trying to save money, whatever that it is, focus on your priority, right? And do your best to address that priority one baby step at a time. This is the golden rule, and this is what will allow us to sort out any situation over a period of time. Priority and baby steps. Carrie, I figured it out. God has got me this far, so I think He will help me make it through to the end. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. God, the universe, whatever what you believe in, I believe that there's something bigger than us that is supporting us. Now, when we have bad luck, bad things, those are rare, those are true, but it's part of a bigger story. And so there are things that we can't change in our life when they're happening. But there's one thing that we can change. It's how we're going to experience that thing. And so if you believe in destiny, for instance, a lot of people say that you can't change your destiny, but you can change how you're going to experience that destiny. And so I don't know what you believe in, but whatever that you're going through, if it's bad, blame it on destiny. I think that's the easiest way to do this. But then think to yourself, okay, this sucks. There's nothing that I can do about it at this point in time, but I can feel better about myself. How? By keeping hope in, by keeping faith that it's going to get better at some point. Carrie Cannes. The police are aware, and my son's okay. So that's the person who's trying to abuse you. It's not the same person who's got dementia, right? I live if needed. I'm just struggling financially and I'm exhausted at the moment. So yes, I understand. If you're exhausted, that's your priority. Sleep. Even if your house is on fire. I mean, not literally. Obviously, you have to go. But I'm saying if you don't sleep, you can't have mental clarity. You need mental clarity. So you need to rest and sleep. Now, I understand it's a vicious circle. The more worries, the more problems we have, the harder it is to sleep. But this is your priority. If I was in that state, I would do my utmost just to find a way to meditate, to rest, so that I can have a bit of brain power going on that can help me spot opportunities, come up with ideas, take the right action. Uh, Carrie, I love your content. Thank you for helping people. You are a bright light in an even darkening world. Thank you, Carrie. Keep coming. I'm here every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 p.m. UK time. I will do my best to keep doing this as long as I can. So if you have any problem, if you need some support, I'm here. Spiraxis. Oh, hello. Hi, Didi. I may be going to my first Pride event at weekend, but afraid that I will encounter hateful people on my way or won't fit in when I get there. Any advice on putting yourself out there? Just do it. Now, the gay community, the LGBTQ plus community is rich and diverse. So anything goes, agree anything. But also, the LGBT community, I mean, the gay community can be very bitchy. So, so if you go in certain bars, I don't know where you are, but in London there are some bars, gay bars, where you go there, everyone is very, very super insecure and judgmental and bitchy and horrible, because they have their own wounds. Um, and so this is not going to be very inspiring. But if you go to a pride event, that would bring everyone, so not just the gays, but everyone, all the other letters. And because it's a pride event, anything goes. Um, is it in London or is it in a smaller place? Um, you may, I don't know, uh, focus on on the people that you are with, but also pay attention to your environment, because it's true that there can be some haters. But again, it depends where you are. Do you have a history? Why are you doing it? And what is the history of pride where you live? If you can tell me that, that'll be helpful. Like in London, for instance, everything is always fine because we outnumber the bigots. Um, and so there's an army of lovers with the flags and with the families, with all the grandmothers, the friends, the allies, and so it's always safe here. Um, but it depends. Tell me about where you are from, please. Where you're going to do it. Spiroxis, as I feel like I'm caught between the pressure of society that keep trans people at home and visible and my own fears and can't untangle it very easily. If you are still at the stage of coming out, this is your best thing to do. You will find a community where you realize that you're not on your own. That's the whole point of pride, is for you to parade and to show off what you've got, right? Uh, and if you're a trans person, you should have some support there. Um, we all understand that trans people are the most vulnerable people in society, the ones who need the most support and help and protection. First, last, Didi, I would love to believe in the other dimensions as well. My biggest concern is I would love to see my dearly departed husband again someday. Detachment is very useful for daily life as well, yes? So you can do this. You don't need to believe in things. You can trick yourself into believing something. I want you to realize that all the beliefs that you have, you've been tricked into believing them. If they don't work for you, get rid of them. If you think, I can never talk to my departed husband because he's not here anymore, now you're going to suffer from that belief. So what you can do is to close your eyes and think about him, and then talk to him in your mind. And at some point, you will feel reconnected with him. Um, you can train your mind to do this. I don't know how to explain this, but it's something that you can do over time. Um, I do this myself. Whenever I feel like I want to talk to someone that is no longer in this reality, I just close my eyes, think about them, I talk to them, and through meditation, there's some sort of connection with my memories, with my thoughts, or maybe with them, and that makes me feel better. Jantex. Wow, non-attachment, that's real AF. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Non-attachment is born from Eastern philosophies. And yes, it's awesome AF. First, last, Didi, I love your flower analogy. I will use that when I speak with my grandchildren. Thank you, First Lady. Student 2K, I want to explore world, but the thought of what others would say, especially those close to me like family and always having to think of explanations tires me, and then I can't work towards my dream. Okay, so you need to make a decision. At some point, you need to choose what life I'm going to have. Am I going to live for my family, for them, for their expectations of me, for their opinions, for their goals, for their dreams? Or am I going to live my life? You've got to make that choice at some point. Now, it doesn't have to be nuclear. It can be a little bit of both. But it's really about you telling them, I love you guys, but this is my life. This is what I want to do. This is what I should be doing. If you love me and you support me, you should be on my side. Um, but I understand that not all families are like that. And so it depends. However, the truth of the matter is that whatever situation that you're in, you've got to make that choice at some point. You have to choose yourself over the approval and the validation of others. We're all conditioned to do this. But remind yourself, it's your life. We have one life as far as this life is concerned. So it's for you to make the most out of it, right? To me, the way that you talk about things tells me that you are a slave of those beliefs that you must do everything to please certain people and you come after them. And this is wrong. As long as you believe that, you'll be limited by those beliefs and you will suffer from that. First, last, I am in danger of losing my independence, but it is a long story and I'm still of sound mind and body, but I am in a position to prove it. Okay? Well, I wish you all the best with that. Again, if you want to tell us more about this, I'm more than happy to give you any suggestions as much as I can. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, I didn't consider that my over-attachment was a form of needing control and taking them for granted because I'm trying to keep them so close to me, all because I'm worried about a disaster. That caused me to start crying. Okay, well, let it out if you feel like crying. Express yourself, let that energy out. Yes, the fear of abandonment is that we need to own people, we need to control them, because we believe that unless we do that, they will not love us. Because when we have BPD, when we have the fear of abandonment, we believe that we are not enough, we are not lovable. And so love doesn't come to us naturally, it doesn't stay with us. We have to fight for it, we need to control it, we need to hold it, we need to enslave it, because otherwise we don't get it. So it's literally a part of the condition, absolutely. And so again, therapy, mindfulness, something that you can do. Practice mindfulness. Pumpkin Puff, I read that. First, last. Student, you may perceive yourself as slow, but maybe you are deep. It's a nice perspective. Student, okay, thank you first. Ah, nice. Student, okay, what was the name of the exercise? Squat. But it's not, I mean, this is for people who train a lot. If you want to optimize, you want to do some big compound movement. Squat, deadlift, as opposed to biceps curl. Because your legs are your biggest muscle in your body. So when you're training your leg, you're creating more reactions. But also, there are things associated with your legs, with your brain. I think it's in the calves. When you walk, when you jump, when you run, when you cycle, when you squat, you're activating something that is directly connected to your brain. As in telling your brain that it needs to grow and to expand. So I haven't read the studies thoroughly, so I'm not able to explain it just yet. But there's a lot of things that are associated with the health and the activity of your legs in regards to your brain's health. First, last. Students, also, if you are ADHD, medication may help. Many people are first diagnosed in college. So, yeah, there are also different things. For me, I wouldn't force someone with ADHD to take medication so that they can do that. I believe that this is the old way. We're not trying to fix the person anymore. We want to fix the system. And how do we fix the system? By getting people who are ADHD or any other conditions to be in the right environment, as opposed to try to squeeze people in a place where they were never meant to fit. Create a bigger space for them. The analogy that I have is like those games that kids have. You have different shape and you have different slot. So you have a circle, you have a square, a triangle, a star. You want the triangle to get into the triangle slot. You want the square to be in the square, the star to go in the star shape. We are stars, and people are trying to force us into a square slot. It's not going to work. And that's what I'm trying to say. Instead of trying to fix us to be normal, to function in that capitalist and exploitative system, we should be doing what comes naturally to us. And by doing this, this is how we expand society and we make it a better place for all. Benny Gibbs. Hello, Didi. Could you spell my name right, please? It's D-I-D-I. I'm sure that you don't mean that, but D-I-D-D-Y is another Didi that I don't want to be associated with, please. Didi, D-I-D-I. Benny Gibbs. Laser Raptor. Didi, I love your trauma tips. My partner with CPTSD pushes me away and then says I failed her. How do I stay kind without becoming her rescue or target? It's a big discussion to have. I need to know more about you. Because there are many angles to look at this. Nothing is just black or white. There are many factors to take into consideration. Let me read this again and try to come up with something just based on what you said. My partner has CPTSD, pushes me away, and then says I failed her. So what you want to do is to first understand what a person with CPTSD is, so that you don't expect that person to be any different than what they are meant to be because of a condition. And then next you want to ask yourself, why am I with someone like that? People who are with problematic people with baggage, they are there for a reason. So you want to ask yourself, what is my attachment to that? Why am I accepting, allowing for those things in my life when others would say no? Other people, if they're being pushed away, they get the message and they don't come back. You push me away. I get it. I need to respect you pushing me away. Why do you keep coming back? So that's the work. You want to find out first, fully understand, accept emotionally that at this point in time, that person is the way they are. And we often suffer in relationships when we are with people like that, is because we are still expecting them to behave differently. Even though we know here we're expecting, and so we are disappointed, we react, we take it personally, but it was always meant to happen because of their conditions, because we haven't healed yet. And then next, ask yourself, why am I with them? Because whatever problem is in a relationship is always two people. So there is something that you can do about your side of the equation. So when you say, how do I stay calm without becoming a rescue or target? It depends. I need to know exactly one situation, and then based on that, I can tell you about that specific situation. There's no golden rules. Every situation, every case is different. First, last. Didi, I sing badly too, but it really does something for me. Fantastic. What was the last song you sang? What did I do? I sang Tomorrow from Annie. I wanted something uplifting. So that was the song that I sang. I sang all the stuff as well. I can't remember, but that one I remember because I really like that song. I think it's a very positive song. So Tomorrow from Annie, and no, I'm not going to sing today. Maybe some days, but not just yet. Benny Gibbs. I used to have a lot of problems with how in feeling anxiety and feeling motivated. I started drinking every day for a few months now, and I feel better, but I replaced it with alcohol to feel better. I always have smoked weed constantly since I was a kid. I think I'm used to substance all the time. Okay. If you want, we can talk about this. I used to be addicted myself. I used to be addicted to class A drugs, alcohol, sex, anger, and a lot of things up to the age of 39. So we can absolutely talk about this. Um, but know that the alcohol and the weed, they are a solution to your problem, but they're only a temporary solution. They don't fix the problem. They get you to feel better about it. That's it. The problem is still there. And so you need to address the reason as to why you need alcohol and weed in the first place. You need to reconnect with your feelings. You need to have a better relationship with your emotional mind and with anxiety itself. 611-6011. I have my first therapy appointment today and I don't know what to say. Lord Classic. You don't have to know what to say. So I assume that you mean talking therapies because there's a lot of different types of therapies. The thing that I do is a transformative therapy. We don't talk. We don't just talk. We change how you feel about yourself. So that's the difference. Talking therapy, they can go on for decades without nothing ever happening. But for some people, it's still good because they get to speak, they get to understand some things about their past, they get to have someone to listen to them without judgment. So that's important for some people. But if you want to heal, there are different systems that are much more efficient. Now, having said that, if it's a talking therapy, and if you enjoy this anyway, you don't need to know what you're going to say. It's not a performance. You're not doing a show for an audience. You're not going to have a panel of judges, 10 points, 5 points. Simon Cowell, Golden Buzzer. That was a really good story. So it's really about you finding out whatever comes out of yourself then. So you don't need to prepare. You don't have any. I mean, it depends who you're going to deal with. There are all sorts of therapists out there. If there are a bad therapist, get rid of them, find another one. But if you have a right one, they will listen to you, they will encourage you, they will make you feel safe until you're able to open up and find out some things about yourself. So good luck with that. 611. Spiraxis. It's in a large-ish city that I know well, but unsure of how to the social landscape lay these days. So you don't want to tell me which city it is, right? It's a secret. It's in a large-ish city that I know well, but unsure of how the social landscape lays these days. You're right. Just do it. Maybe the best thing I need. Thank you. Okay. So you're happy anyway. But if you could tell me the city, that would help. I could do some little research. You never know. Genji. Hello, Didi. How are you today? I'm very well. How about you, Genji? First, last, Didi, I actually do still talk to my husband, even out loud. Okay, so there you go. So you are in connection with him, right? So you understand what I'm saying. You talk to him. Now, what you want to do is to talk to him, but know that you're not just talking to a wall, to an empty room. You are talking to him. He is listening. Whatever happened to him, also, I don't know about your relationship with him, but I do believe that in the afterlife, we change. We learn things from this dimension. And so if there was a problem, I don't know, maybe there's not, but if there was a problem, they are different and they look at you from a different perspective now. And that is very important, especially for people who lost parents with whom they didn't agree with. When that's the case, I believe that the parents learn and they change. So yes, so if you are talking to him out loud, you know what I'm talking about. So you have lost no one. You can talk to him any time. You can have a conversation. You can ask him questions and get the answers, right? Miko, you have great advice. Keep the great work. I'm glad I found you last week on Facebook. Fantastic. Thank you, Miko. Thank you. Spiraxis, just to answer your question, Did. My reason for going to Pride is to find community, make some friends, and experience myself with the volume up a little. Fantastic. So just go. Don't think about the bad stuff. Think about the good stuff. And when and if you meet bad stuff, then you will deal with it with whatever you can do. Then you don't need to prepare yourself. It's pride. It's not a battle. You don't need to prepare to go with a suit of armor or with a shield and a sword. You don't need to practice kung fu before you go. Just go. If shit happens, as it may happen, it's very unlikely. But even if it was to happen, what do you deal with that? What do you do? You use your intelligence, you use your intuition, use the people around you to come up with a solution there and then. Again, if you're trans and you are going out in a small village, it's dangerous. But if you go in a large-ish city at a pride event, there's going to be lots of people. You're going to be safe. It's probably the safest way and place you can show yourself. So do it. The only thing that I could say, and again, it's me overthinking it, but I always give that advice because I used to be paranoid about things. Uh, but I would say if you're in high heels, make sure that you have a pair of trainers in your bag. So if need be, you can put the trainers and run. Right? If a situation like that. But this is me being paranoid. Again, no one does that. You're going to Pride. So go to Pride, enjoy yourself, put your best stilettos or whatever, and then, connect with that community. Show yourself. Um, you'll be all right. Thank you for the little heart. Pumpkin Puff. I also didn't realize that was a part of BPD. You know what, Pumpkin Puff? Everything about your life is connected and affected by BPD. Because BPD is about emotional dysregulation, and all aspects of your life involve some aspect of emotions. So there you go. I just want to hug both my dogs while I was sobbing. So do it. Hug them, sob, and eventually you'll feel better. Let it out. Focus on being with them instead of worrying about what may happen to them. I know it's not easy, but that's what you want to remind yourself of doing your best to do. Benny Kibbs, it must have autocorrected, did he? I know your name. Okay, yes, I've been here for a few months. I come back every few weeks. You probably don't remember me. Okay, thank you, Benny. I have some good news, actually, Didi. You helped my mum with some advice a few months ago. Okay, she was in a very bad depression, and she's feeling a lot better now. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you do this. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you so much. This is great news. This is what I'm doing. What I'm doing. I'm so happy. I'm genuinely happy with that. Gosh, that's really really cool. Thank you so much. Tell her, but I wish her all the best, and she can come back anytime, and we can talk again if needed. Laser Raptor, thank you. Spiraxis, I have to hop off now, but we'll rewind the stream later and listen. Thank you, Spiraxis. Thanks for everything you do. See you Friday. Take care. Fantastic. So, very good reminder for those who don't know, not only do I come every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 o'clock, but also all of my live streams can be replayed from the following day. So if you enjoyed this, if you haven't yet already subscribed to my channel, and then if you find anything interesting that was said today, you will be able to find that video, that very live stream, at some point tomorrow, because it takes that time for YouTube to upload the live streams. So you can always replay what was said. If any one of you ask me anything or found something interesting and want to retrieve the information, it's available tomorrow. Um, First, last, tomorrow from Annie FTW. What is FTW? FTW. For the win. I don't realize. Yes. So, yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that awesome hymn to optimism and hope. Student 2K. I'm bad at updating my wardrobe. I have things for so long. How often shall I buy new clothes? There's no rules. It's up to you. Um, we're all different. Some people have the same clothes for 10, 20, 40 years. Some people change. They wear it once and they get rid of it. We have all sort of things. It depends on X, Y, Z. It depends on what you feel about it. Um, I don't know. If you are not limited financially, it's not a bad thing to refresh your wardrobe every now and then. Maybe what you can do, if you're not sure about it, find someone that can help you. Find a friend that you trust, that taste in fashion, to maybe give you how do we say, a makeup? No, something, a revamp, an upgrade. Um, First, last, since you asked, my husband and I were still infinitely moving towards each other. Our love was alive and active. Okay, no unfinished business. Good, but I'm ready for different kind of relationship too. Fantastic. So if you can do this, fantastic. So this is what non-attachment is about as well. You know, someone left you. Some people they can never fall in love again because they feel that if I do that, it's like me betraying them. But it's not true. Again, we're not betraying anyone. We're just living our life. And yeah, if your husband loves you, which it sounds like he did, he would want you to be happy, right? Instead of controlling you, owning you, and saying, "Oh, you can never be with anyone but me." First last, and by that, if we are bodiless, etc., in another dimension. Student 2K, do humans have a limit to how much information they can consume a day, and interactions they can have, and playtime limits? It depends on people. We're all different. We all have different level of, what do you say? How much information we can take, and how much interaction we can have. Some of us can do more, some of us can do less. It depends. It's not the humans that are limited, it's the individual, the person. We're all vastly different. It's okay, it's not a competition. Laser Raptor. Didi, I really appreciate your trauma work. I'm in a 14-month relationship with a woman who has diagnosed PTSD, depression, dissociation, severe shame, and very unhealthy attachment to her mother. Yep, thank you. Laser Raptor. Family system. I have spent the last year learning about trauma, attachment, dissociation, emotional flashbacks, shame, and avoidance. And I think that is the only reason I was able to stay calm, okay, and kind for so long. The current problem is this. For about 3 months, she has been pushing me away, disappearing, breaking plans, and treating me like an ex-partner, while still sometimes saying she loves me. So this is what I was saying. Understand that this may happen. If she's suffering from CPTSD, this is what you have enrolled into, right? You've studied it. But very often we know things, at a cognitive level, but we haven't accepted them at an emotional level. So we know, and yet we feel bad about it. If you really accept that someone has a condition, you accept that this is the way it goes. Now you want to set boundaries, but it's for you to find out where do the boundaries start and end? Where does my compassion start and end as well? And also, why do you do this to yourself? Justin Harris, dealing with late stage burnout, occupational related. Okay. Pumpkin Puff, you're right. I need to think about how my condition affects me. I did hug both of them, which I think concerned them since they don't know why I'm crying but showed me love. I don't think it concerns them. Dogs don't think like that. They literally react to the moment, the energy that is around. They don't think, why is he doing this? They just look at you and they're going to go in your arms or go away or whatever. Um, you're projecting your overthinking onto your dogs. Pumpkin Puff, I do feel a bit better. Okay, good. Thank you. Laser Raptor, we had planned a move together. We chose a large apartment together. I moved in and have carried it financially and practically myself for 6 weeks. She then moved alone into a small dysfunctional apartment. I understand that a lot of this probably comes from childhood trauma, emotional neglect, shame, parental invalidation, being controlled, and a mother who reportedly called her a life failure. But I'm exhausted. I get it. So in that case, accept that this is what you gotta do now. You have something that you must choose. Choose. Am I willing and wanting to carry on with that chaos? Or is it time for me to do something else? Sometimes life doesn't go away, and because we want something doesn't make any difference. I know what you want. You want for her to be stable, to be with you, and for you to be happy together. But it's just a want. So you need to realize, what can I do? What is my real choice? It's not about what I want. What can I do? Can I look after her? Can I wait for her? Can I be patient? Can I love her regardless? Or can I say, that's enough for now, it's too much for me, I'm exhausted, I can't do this anymore? And again, it's not nuclear, but it's about realizing and understanding why you do this to yourself. You probably do this because she reminds you of the chaos from your own childhood. So there's a part of you that feels familiar, that feels that if you fixed her, maybe you can fix your past at the same time. But it doesn't work like that. Again, if we get to know more each other, I can give you some more advice. But at this point in time, um, I think the most important thing to realize, it's very simple and it's simple, even simplistic. And I don't mean to be rude, but it really is this. Sometime this is what it is. We need to accept. Can I do more, or is it enough for me? Instead of holding desperately, and now we're going to suffer from that because it's not, because nothing is aligned for what we want to happen right around now. Who are you? Hello, Didi. I'm going on vacation with my parents. We've not really any money, and my father can be pretty toxic. My mother is pretty shy/anxious. I am most probably neurodivergent, and I have no idea how to get through this, make a pleasurable time out of it. You may not be able to. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes we really want some. Maybe you say it's toxic, and your mom, she's very passive. So it may suck. It may be terrible, very horrible. So prepare yourself. Brace yourself for the roast. But the way you can make it better is to. There's so much thing that you could do, but I don't know if you can do this. Is to really take it with a pinch of salt. Think to yourself. I mean to be a bit rude, but say to yourself, you know what? Fuck it. I'm there for myself. I need to do my best to enjoy myself. I need to ignore the noise. I'm not going to react. Remember, if your dad is toxic, um, don't feed what he says to you with energy. Whatever he says doesn't matter. Whatever he thinks doesn't matter. His opinion doesn't matter. You're just there because you want to have a good time. So you're going to do your best to connect with your mum, to connect with whoever else is nice there. But if your dad is toxic, just ignore him. Don't react to him. Do your best to ignore him. See him like a puppet, like someone who's trying to, like a troll. He's trying to get a reaction from you to feel that he has control over you. Uh, so the best way for you not to suffer from that is to not react to him. See him in a different light. See an old man that is bitter, but is trying desperately to get some attention, but he's harmless, and you don't have to give him that attention. Like, visualize maybe at every wedding there's a drunken uncle that is problematic. See him like that. He's rambling, but you know what? He's okay. We get him. It's not a big deal. So maybe thinking of him like that will make it easier for you. Does that help? Where you? Pumpkin Puff. I am projecting. You're right. But just got up and cuddled me. No hesitation. There you go. Dogs, animals are very straightforward. They're living in the moment. And that's why we suffer, because we're not able to do this anymore. We have a brain now, we can think, we overthink, we analyze everything, we need to anticipate everything, we need to understand and control everything. Because of that we suffer. Instead of going with the flow and trusting our intuition to carry us each moment, which is what dogs do. Justin Harris, performance, burnout, cognitive impairment, poor working memory, dissociation, apathy, etc. I used to rely on sheer determination and willpower, but about to lose my job and I can't make myself do anything. Okay. So you seem to be quite overwhelmed. I'm sorry to hear this. But then again, the main thing I'm going to say is that whatever you're going through, there's an entry point. And it's for you to find out that entry point. Instead of trying to fix everything, instead of trying to force yourself to be determined, to have willpower, to persevere, maybe you're just overwhelmed and you need to have a break from it. Um, you said yourself, I used to rely on sheer determination and willpower. So you used to force yourself. But maybe now your system is saying, F off. That's enough. Do your best to relax. Do your best. No, you can't do this, Nana. Do your best to remind yourself, you know what? Things may get better. Things may not get better. Accept that shit happens. Accept that life is the way it goes. However, also accept that things change. And sometimes what seems like misfortune can be a new opportunity that you haven't even thought about. And so we can't we can't decide what is going to happen tomorrow. But what you can decide is how you feel about yourself right here, right now. So we can do this. Do your best to accept. You know what? I'm going to do my best. I'm going to trust the universe. If I'm overwhelmed, maybe I need some break. Maybe I need to stop. Maybe I need some holidays, or I need to stop working. Maybe they can sack me. I don't care. There's a lot of jobs out there. Um, uh, and really let go of the stress, let go of the pressure, let go of the fear, of the uncertainty, the unknown, the unpredictable. Just let it go. It doesn't matter. Trust the universe. Because it's that fear, that tension that makes everything worse. Uh, does it help, Justin? Do you want to tell me more about yourself? Justin Harris, and advice. I can give you more advice, but I need to have more information from you. Um, Krishna Priya, thank you. Your advices are great. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Pumpkin Puff, I think a part of me felt guilty all of a sudden for being controlling and not really just loving them the way I should. Yeah, but when I say controlling, it's not something that is conscious. You're not doing it on purpose. You're not Machiavellian. Oh, I need to control the world. I need to own them. And this is not what I meant. It's about understanding the mechanism. You don't do it consciously. You do it because you're traumatized. You're coming from a place of survival. So you need to have this in your life. So your mind has created a system to control people. But it's not you. It's not something that you should be ashamed of. It's a system that kept you together and it's still there. Um, Again, dissociate yourself from your behavior, from your program. You are not your program. You are unlimited potential, and you are working every day to expand that potential. Um, Krishna, sir, my boyfriend texts me once a week. Leave on unread messages most other days. I text him. He's a very busy man, and we meet maybe once every 3 months, or even less than that. Should I break up? Yes, unless you're happy. If you're happy to see him once every 3 months, if you're happy that he doesn't answer to your messages, if you're happy with everything, okay. But if you're not happy, which I believe you're not, because not many will be happy like that, then break up. He's using you. Or maybe he's not using you. Maybe he can't do any otherwise. It doesn't make a difference because you don't get what you expect from a relationship, right? Do you agree with me, Krishna? Justin Harris, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Fantastic. Thank you. Something that I said worked. Okay. I'm glad you appreciated it. Remember, come back here. I'm always here. Wednesdays, Fridays, we can talk about things as they unfold. Who are you? One of the main things I have done since I was little was swim very far away quickly where no one was paying attention to where no one can get to me and lay in the water starfish style. Okay? Sounds good to me. For like an hour or a bit more, the water sounds and smell and just looking at the sky. That sounds lovely. It's like flotation tanks. I used to do that. You're in tanks where you float and you meditate. Um, so you're doing this in a swimming pool or whatever. Good. Enjoy. Who are you? Peace. Yes. Krishna. We are in open relationship, but I stay in open relationship for him. Okay, so don't. If you stay in an open relationship for him, then there's something wrong. If you stay in an open relationship because this is what you want, it's easier for you. It's your choice. It makes your life easier. That's good. If you do it for him, he is manipulating you. So you want to get out of it. And then we want to address why you allowed this to happen. Who are you? I did get shouted at very badly when I came back to shore, which understandable, but I'm in my 20s now, so I hope they'll just deal with it. So it's for you not to react to them. If they shout at you, just go like that, float and go in your starfish mode, go like that. It doesn't matter. You're in your 20s, right? Starfish with your fingers out. I think that's the way to do it. Who are you? I'm old enough and the best swimmer in the family now. There you go. Krishna, thank you, sir. Thank you, Krishna. I agree, sir. Fantastic. Thank you. Justin Harris, thanks. In healthcare sales, high volume, poor support system in place. Now I'm losing account due to poor scheduling, logistical errors, poor customer service from office. Okay, there are some environments that are toxic. And so get out of it. unless you need to do it for survival. But even so, you can't do it anymore. Your system is telling you to F off, right? And so some environments are toxic. For some of us, there's a time where it's interesting and exciting for us to do this. But at some point, it's too much. We need to let go. I used to work in the restaurant industry myself for a long time. And super toxic environment is designed to ruin people's health and happiness, taking all the time, and, and, and it's just bad. However, I enjoyed some of it because there was some time where I could appreciate the good things. But I think there's a time limit for a lot of those jobs or workplace. Maybe it's time for you to move on. Justin, right? Laser Raptor. Didi, thank you for your kind words. My friends, family, and professional therapist told me to let go on her. She damages my reputation, and even me knowing all that. My ADHD intuition tells me. Okay, okay. I'm glad you appreciate something that I said. Justin Harris, watching entire books of business, a built crumble right before my eyes. Now I've gotten behind dealing with learned helplessness. Yes, learned helplessness is a very important concept to understand about ourselves. And don't feel I can get out from under this mountain of others that I've compounded over time. So you may not be able to get out of this mountain, but that mountain is only a mountain within other mountains. So find out what is your priority. Again, maybe your priority is to feel better, to have more mental clarity, as opposed to trying to do all those things that you have to do. There's nothing that you have to do. There's only things that you believe are important to you. Laser Raptor, to stay steady and keep my door open for her, but it's hard to accept the inability to help today. This intermittent reinforcement of things, I will not call it a relationship anymore. My ADHD brain loves, but the damage is real. Okay, get out of it. That's enough, right? I think. I'm not asking you, telling you to do that, but I believe that that would be the best thing to do, just based on what you said. That's what I would do. But again, we're not the same, of course. Pumpkin Puff, yes, I don't mean to be controlling, just that I either hold things too closely because of fear of abandonment, or I push things away because I want to avoid the pain the attachment may cause. Yes, be pity. Who are you? My grandma is very ill, so we'll visit her too. May see her for the last time. Otherwise, I have already told my parents this is the last family trip I will ever attend. Okay? Do your best. Remember, starfish with the middle finger out. Kevin, hi Didi. Hello, Kevin. I remember you. But something that I want to add. A long conversation that we had in the past, and I didn't answer you properly. I think it's you who asked me well the importance of uh, of what we can observe from people. I don't know if you remember that conversation. And my answer actually is that this doesn't work anymore. This is not enough anymore. Because there's a lot of things that we can't observe and they're still happening. We can't observe with the naked eye. Thanks to neuroscience, now we can see things that are happening in the brain that are not observable without the machines. And so I don't know if you can connect the dots together, but I think a few weeks ago you asked me something about whether or not observing reality was enough to assess people's mental and emotional state. And I would say no, because now, again, since neuroscience, we have debunked so many things that people believed was real for a long time. Genji, starfish with your middle finger out is a great way to go. Aha, yes. Who are you? They asked if I am serious, and I said it's a promise, not a threat. Okay. But again, maybe it's not the best way to start the holidays together, right? I mean, you do what you have to do. Justin Harris, yes, good income and been there 16 years. Very niche industry, pediatric equipment sales, very fulfilling, but not a lot of other options out there, and it's all I know. You can learn more. It's all that you know at this point in time. We can all learn and expand every day, every time, all of our life. Nowadays, more than ever, there's no excuse not to learn something new because of AI, because of the internet, because of social media, because of so many things. So many ways to do things that didn't exist in the past. And so, yeah, expand your mind, learn something new. People who are reliant on their skill and worried that they may lose that, they are creating their own curse at some point in the future. The world is going to change. There's nothing we can do about it except going along with the change. A lot of people get angry because where they work closed, the company, whatever. And now we are depending on our environment instead of adapting to our environment. The world will always change. There will always be some people left behind because they have the wrong mindset about it. And there will always be some people who will bounce back and even get better because they have the right mindset. So my advice to you is to use this as an opportunity to maybe explore something that you always wanted to do. Maybe there's something inside of you that has not been unlocked yet, unleashed, and that's something that you could do now. Have you got something like that? Justin Harris? Who are you? Or whoever, or however that sentence goes in English. It sounds good. It's a promise, not a threat. Genji, I'm just going with the flow of life. Just wanted to listen today. I'm glad to see so many people talking with you today. Thank you, Genji. I'm glad as well. Kevin, comment allez-vous, Didi? Didi K. I think you mean Didi Khan, right? Je vais très bien, merci, Kevin. Justin Harris, thanks. I'm actually coming out of the depression and burnout slowly but surely. Okay. I've been praying and studying the Bible and have let go of a lot recently and have a certain amount of peace now. Okay, so you're talking about this depression and burnout. And one of the reasons so many of us are depressed and burn out is because we are not living our purpose. Because we've been programmed to believe that this is all what you can do. The things that you really love are not available to you. And so because of that, we get depressed. Yeah. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Justin. I'm glad that you found some spiritual guidance of the Bible. But think about it. Is that something that you always wanted to do and you never given yourself a chance to do it? Maybe now it's the sign, the signal. Pumpkin Puff, you have helped me feel a bit better. I am still a bit stressed, but I will remember to be mindful and focus on what matters to me more. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you. It's 8 o'clock already. Thank you so much. I didn't realize I was going to carry on for another hour. Thank you. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for me to go. I'm going to read the last comment, and if there's any question, I will address them. But otherwise, I'm going to slowly say goodbye. Justin Harris, relying on myself too much and had to accept my limitations. You don't have limitations. Your only limitations are the belief that you have about yourself. You may have some limitations with some specific goals, but you don't have limitations into going in that direction and getting something similar to it. Justin, yes, I will need to take some time off, likely maybe get a low stress bridge job and put some thought into what I might want to do. Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you. Guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you for watching until now. Again, remember, I'm on TikTok and I am on YouTube. And I come here every Wednesdays and Fridays. So subscribe if you enjoyed the vibes. If you know anyone who needs some help, get them involved. And also, if you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there should be a link on my bio to my website. Who are you? Thank you for the laugh, Didi. I am at the airport right now. Okay, fantastic. I don't know for how much of the live I have connection for, but I will definitely think of you at the beach and have a little giggle. Enjoy your beach. Fantastic. Happy holiday to you. Deserve it. Genji, always nice to see you. Have a good evening, Didi. Thank you so much. Same to you. First, last, bye all, and thank you, Didi, and my fellow commenters for helping me feel less alone today. Fantastic. First, last, do come back. Right? We never want you to feel alone. Justin Harris, Thanks. God bless you. Same to you. Krishna, thank you. Thank you, Krishna. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, I didn't mean to stop you if you wanted to keep going. I just assume you are ready to keep busy. No, no, it's a good thing. I need to be reminded. I've got other things to do. Sometimes I get carried on, and if I don't put a stop, I may carry on for way too long. So I've got to spread my energy and focus in different places. So thank you, Pumpkin Puff. Who are you? Bye, bye. First, last, bye. Guys, I love you. Take care. Look after yourself. Remember to be kind to yourself. And hopefully, I see you either Friday or sometime next week. Bye bye for now.